And following up on that story about California maybe finally forcing ride-hail drivers to be classified as employees, sources are telling the New York Times that Uber and Lyft are considering a franchise-like model in California where they would license their brands to operators of vehicle fleets. Quote, the change would resemble an independently operated franchise, allowing Uber and Lyft to keep an arm's-length association with drivers so that the companies would not need to employ them and pay their benefits. The idea would effectively be a return to the days of how groups of black cars were run. Lyft has presented the plan to its board of directors, one person said. Uber, which already works with fleet operators in Germany and Spain, is also familiar with the business model. The companies have not committed to the franchise-like plans, said the people with knowledge of the discussions who asked to remain anonymous because the details are confidential. Uber and Lyft are waiting to see how California's legal situation around drivers who have been treated as independent contractors plays out first, they said, end quote. Yes, the advantage here is licensing a brand or doing a franchise is basically a pure margin business, which is what Uber and Lyft are after in the first place, right? No need to own vehicles or pay labor, that's the dream. But also, one could argue, and many have argued, that this is what Uber and Lyft as businesses should have been from the get-go. Like, they chose to go for the maximalist force a monopoly so we can take over all of transportation business model. But in essence, what their product has been from day one was nothing more than a clever software layer to make sure you never had to hunt for a cab when you needed one. There is a universe where they only ever were software companies taking maybe, a 15 to 5% take on rides and never did anything more than allow cab fleets to be more efficient. That's not a $50 billion business, I suppose, but it would still have been a decent business. As Alex B. tweeted, quote, Uber to switch to the business model it argued for a decade it already had. This would be a tech company. Uber would offer a digital platform so drivers can meet and pick up people with their own conditions, end quote.